Let's continue. Let's go with I'm on board with it. Let's trust Maya. Yeah, I support Maya's plan. I can confidently say that it's the best choice in this situation. If we can get Captain Sagiri to surrender now, it's all over. This plan's the only one that might just prevent further bloodshed. And since we've already strapped for time with Alternative 5 looming on the horizon, that's exactly what we should be aiming for. Which means it's the only plan I can get behind. Obviously, the prospect of Maya being made into a decoy if things go south still bothers me. And if it comes down to it, Maya could very well be the next one to die. But she takes pride in having devoted her life to being the Shogun's body double. To deny her this opportunity would be like saying she's lived her entire life for nothing. Any rational person back in my world would try to stop her from doing this. But that would be stepping all over the person she truly is. From Maya's perspective, not being allowed to fulfill that role would be a fate worse than death. Just like how the old lady at Mount Tengen felt about leaving her home. If anything, I should be focusing on what I can do to help ensure Maya's safety. Even if she fails to persuade them, they won't do anything to her right away as long as her cover isn't blown. And from the way she carries herself, why would they ever suspect the thing in the first place? Would it even be possible to prove she wasn't a shogun? I mean, she's barely even an imposter. The two of them could trade places any time and we'd be none the wiser. Major, requesting permission to speak. You guys are something else, he says. Thank you, sir. I'll take that as a yes, sir. I hereby volunteer myself to escort the Shogun's imposter. Maya, back at Mount Tengen, you left me with no choice but to help you. But this time it'll be different. This time I'm gonna be the one carrying the team. But I'm not just gonna let you die out there either. I'm gonna do what you did for the old lady at Mount Tengen and protect the life of someone I hold dear. And so this time it's your turn, Maya, and trust me with your life and together we'll help create a brighter future for mankind. Something about me? What, just because we spoke during the mission? Not to look a gift horse in the mouth, of course. Yes, sir. First of all, while Her Highness may have some amount of piloting experience, it would still seem unnatural for her to be approaching the rebels in a TSF of her own, under these circumstances. Sometimes I cannot get the mic right, yeah? Okay. We scrapped the idea of having Her Highness personally execute the rebels, so there's no reason to use a Takemikazuchi for this. And I don't want to give Maya the chance to try something herself. Maya? Damn it, Maya. That look on your face couldn't be more obvious, so you were planning to fight the rebels by yourself after all. Oh. Well, sorry, but I'm afraid I can't let that happen. As I was saying, since Her Highness has been riding in my TSF this whole time, it would make the most sense to have her imposter ride with me as well, so as not to raise rebel suspicion. Chances are they've already guessed that the Shogun was most likely riding in my TSF based on our prior formations, so it would make our request to meet and negotiate seem a lot more legitimate. And considering what might happen if negotiations should fail, it makes way more sense to have all the actual surface pilots stay back to protect Her Highness, and let a cadet like me fill this role. For a bunch of rookies, our squad's done really well so far. Yuko-sensei's new OS packs quite a punch. If Maya and I can just keep the rebels distracted, it should at least buy the others enough time to haul ass over to Old Shimoda or thereabouts. And in the event we both get captured, the fact that I'm not wearing a cadet's fortified suit will work to our advantage. Having her ride in a training TSF can be explained as an act of camouflage, but no way in hell are they gonna believe she was left in the hands of a mere cadet. That's just gonna raise needless suspicions. In addition, my TSF's passenger safety belt is already attached and ready to go, so we can move out immediately. Nobody can argue with what Takeru said. Yes, looks like I've got him on the ropes. Now to seal the deal. I'm sure the rebels truly do believe they're only acting in Her Highness's best interest. And I also recognize they didn't start this rebellion just for the sake of it. Kei is thinking about her fiancé. It's just that the way they chose to go about it is in no way justifiable. Yeah, they killed Chizuru's father too. However, I'd wager that most Japanese people can relate to their cause, even if they disagree with the actions they took. I'm a UN surface pilot, but more than that, I'm a Japanese citizen, and well, that's why I get where they're coming from. In that sense, they may have already accomplished much of what they were trying to do. Major, there's no perfect way to resolve this conflict, but if we suppress their rebellion by force, it'll only be a matter of time before history repeats itself. Furthermore, an intervention by already unpopular US forces will only serve to deepen the animosity already lurking in the people's hearts. Major, you called Japan foolish for staging a rebellion in the midst of our ongoing war with the Beta. But you have to understand that Japan is on the front lines of that war. People are constantly being pushed to their physical and mental limits by the fear of imminent death. And their reverence for Her Highness is one of the greatest reasons they still manage to endure. If she were to send these rebels to their deaths with the help of the US Army after they've risen up in righteous fury, it wouldn't be long before a similar but more organized rebellion broke out, and once again the US Army would be called on to snuff them out. If that were to happen, who knows how many American lives would be lost? Certainly far more than this time, I can tell you that much. And if the people lose their faith in the shogun and as a result of this incident, there won't be anyone left to stop it. Who knows, it could even compromise the Far East's final defense line, making the beginning of the end for all mankind. In fact, the end's already begun, you guys just don't know it yet. If Japan were to fall, well, there'd be nothing but ocean between the Beta and American soil. And that's not much of an obstacle for them. At that point, you can forget about your cost-benefit analysis. The losses would be far too massive to count. And in the end, we'd abandon the Earth for a desperate flight to another star system, not even knowing if we'd ever make it there alive. Sorry, but I just can't let that happen. I won't. And if we can persuade these rebels, here and now, it'll never have to come to that. Please, sir, you have to let us do this. Forgive me, sir. Crap, I got all worked up thinking about Alternative 5 and let my emotions get the best of me. Please, Major, if you send just the two of us in my TSF, we can keep the sacrifices to a minimum, even in the worst case scenario. Please. Yes, sir. Gah, of course he'd bring up the whole Tri-Oslam thing. Yes, sir, and I sincerely apologize for that. Shit, why am I not surprised that this is coming back to bite me? No, sir, I wouldn't. No point in beating around the bush, might as well just be honest. Sir, I regret to admit that until just moments ago I was too afraid to be held accountable for my actions and their consequences.
まさかとは思うけど、何の犠牲もなく何かを得ることができるなんて考えていないでしょうね。じゃあ、自分が関与することで人が助かるのはいいけど、一人でも死人が出るのはごめんだってこと？
Yeah, it's just like Yuko-sensei said. I was afraid of getting directly involved in anything that might turn out badly. I couldn't even obey Her Highness when she told me to listen to your orders.
殿下が
I've been giving it a lot of thought ever since, and it might be because I'm still new to this country, but I don't think I originally felt any emotional involvement in this uprising. Specifically because I'm not from this world's Japan to begin with. If anything, I felt it was just another obstacle getting in the way of my objectives, because I know the future that awaits this world. I was furious that people would even consider fighting amongst themselves at such a crucial time as this. I thought they were being totally childish. But over the course of this operation, I've been exposed to many different viewpoints from people with many different backgrounds, and now I'm not sure what to think anymore. The UN in America, people from the US military and the IRG, the parents of everyone in Squad 207, Captain Sagiri, Major Walken, First Lieutenant Tsukuyomi, and Her Highness. I can understand where everyone's coming from here, but I don't know what to make it of myself. I guess you could say I never really had any clear convictions or core beliefs of my own. In other words, the only thing pushing me forward has been my sense of obligation towards my objective. It was never anything deeper than that. But after all we've been through today, one thing's been made abundantly clear to me. And I have Maya and Her Highness to thank for that. While I may not feel the same convictions or share the same core beliefs, at the end of the day, I'm still a Japanese citizen at heart. In any world and in any time, I'm still a part of this country. As long as I don't lose sight of that fact, it can serve as a basis to help guide the decisions I make and how I go about achieving my goals. As someone who's seen this country both prosper and be driven to the brink of extinction, I've got a better frame of reference than anyone on some of this stuff. And once I've made those decisions, I won't shy away from getting my hands dirty. I'll accept the outcomes of my actions. I may not be a miracle worker, but if something goes wrong, I'll at least face up to the consequences. If all I did was run from my problems, I'd be no different from the people who already want to resort to Alternative 5. I'm still figuring this out, but those conclusions convinced me to volunteer. That's all, sir.
一つ聞くが、貴様の目標とは何だ?
For mankind to win this war, sir. That's one thing that'll never change, no matter what. What, no response? I'm being totally serious here, though.
まさかとは思うが、贖罪のための志願ではないだろう。
Atonement? What, for not obeying your orders earlier? No, I'm doing this because I feel it's my duty, sir. Not only does this plan give Her Highness the best opportunity to escape, it also has a chance of resolving the entire situation while still taking Her Highness's sympathy for the rebels and Maya's wishes into account. It's got a lot going for it. So please, Major, I'm begging you.
実戦が訓練兵を鍛え上げたということなのか。
Huh?
貴様の考えはよく分かった。だが、貴様のタイプ97が短期で向かうというのはいかにも不自然だな。
Major.
この絵の直縁は真実味の上でも必要であろうな。でありましょう、少佐。
Tsukuyomi-san. She looks happy. I see she must have been planning to accompany Maya from the start. Which makes sense, of course. No way in hell she'd ever let Maya go alone.
貴様たちのプランを採用する。替え玉は白金木に登場。直縁はつくよみ注意とする。
了解。
殿下、ご裁可いただけますか。
はい。
では殿下、緊急事態ですので、先に兵を解散させますご無礼をお許しください。
構いません。儀礼よりも軍務を優先なさるがよい。
ご後輩賜り恐れ入ります。
ウォーケン少佐。
は。
そなたに心よりの感謝を。
殿下、これは任務です。そのお言葉、召喚にはもったいないと存じます。後部員夕日殿下に対し敬礼。各自戦術機の起動準備後、指示があるまで待機。解散。
敬礼。
貴様はくれぐれも正体が見破られぬよう準備を整えておけ。
了解。
恵比寿、巴、殿下のお召し替えを。
了解いたしました。
周囲と軍曹は5分以内に部下への指示を終わらせ、私のところへ来い。作戦の詳細を検討する。
了解。
Mari, Sergeant Jinguji, I apologize for my unwarranted interruption.
今は作戦を成功させることだけを考えろ。いいな。
Yes, ma'am.
基地に帰ったらみっちり教育してやる。笑ったり泣いたりできないようにしてやるから覚悟しておけ。
Marimo-chan. Understood. I was fully prepared to accept the consequences when I spoke up, but I guess I did kinda undermine Marimo-chan's authority. I feel pretty bad about that. Oh, First Lieutenant. What's up with her? Why is she staring at me like that? Is something wrong? Is she gonna chew me out for that little rant of mine? I'm sure it must have sounded pretty childish, and I did kinda let my emotions take control for a while, so there's no shortage of things for her to criticize me for.
殿下がお話になったのか。
Huh? What does she mean? Told me what? About her relationship to Maya, maybe?
いや、いいんだ。
Lieutenant?
メイヤ様を頼む。
Yes, ma'am. Hmm.
ハンター1より各機、これより作戦を伝える。休戦終了60秒前、オープンチャンネルにてつくよみ注意が決起軍に対し交渉の意思があることを通告する。敵が交渉に応じればプラン A を継続、拒絶した場合はプラン B を優先する。プラン B はプラン A 第2フェーズ以降の流れとほぼ同一であり、作戦
Haha, it's Maya. Something wrong?
いや、なんでもない。
Is she feeling nervous? Well, not that I can blame her. I'm pretty tensed up myself. Hey, is it too hot for you or too cold? She's not wearing a fortified suit, so I should at least ask.
よい、大丈夫だ。
Well, okay then. She's about to negotiate with the rebels by pretending to be the shogun. Not exactly an easy task. Gotta make sure she's as comfortable as possible.
私のことは気にするでない。そなたはブリーフィングに集中するがよい。
Roger. I gotta say, now that I'm seeing her dressed like this, she really does look the part. And that's coming from someone who was in close quarters with the shogun until just an hour ago. I don't see how anyone who doesn't see her on a regular basis would be able to tell them apart.
では引き続きプラン A の説明に入る。殿下に扮した三剣訓練兵は国連軍20706に登場している。交渉の場にはつくよみ注意の1901が直縁として随伴する。ハンター2は丸の山側、ハンター3、ハンター4は岩山側より狙撃態勢で待機。現在殿下は帝国近衛軍1902に登場している。直縁は1903および1904。三剣訓練兵の20702を中心に後方で待機。
了解。
国連軍20703丸5の火器はその前方を固めろ。
了解。
状況次第では包囲の突破を試みる。理想的なのは伊豆高原方面へ脱出することだ。国連軍20700丸1丸4の火器は岩山南西部にて待機。
了解。
説得交渉のタイムリミットは交渉開始後20分とする。
了解。
So he wants us to drag it out as close to 20 minutes as we can.
増援が合流する可能性を少しでも高めたいのであろう。
Which would mean
20分を経過した段階でプラン A 第2フェーズに移行。反乱軍を一部撃破し包囲を突破する。その際20702はオートパイロットで敵に突っ込ませる。この段階で訓練兵の正体がバレていなければ20706は敵を引きつけろ。殿下の直縁機以外は丸6をカバーし、おとりにリアリティを与えるんだ。
I see. As long as the rebels think I have Her Highness, their whole force should chase after my TSF once I make a break for it.
敵を引きつけたところでプラン A 第3フェーズに移行。殿下の搭乗機を脱出させる。また交渉が決裂したと判断された場合には即時プラン A 第2フェーズに移行。各自心しておけ。
Maya, it's gonna be okay. You can do this.
戦闘が発生した場合、20706-1901は交代しつつ、ハンター2、ハンター3および4と合流。本体に接近する敵機を迎え撃て。その時には、待機中の20700、01、04の火機もハンター隊に合流しろ。03と05は後方よりそれを支援せよ。
When he says hunters, he means the American squad, yeah?
了解。
帝国近衛軍1902以下の火機は、包囲の薄くなった点を突破し、白浜を目指せ。
了解。
なお、本作戦中は情報漏洩を防ぐためにデータリンクの使用は禁じる。作戦の成否は各自の的確な判断にかかっていることを忘れるな。諸君の検討に期待する。
了解。
作戦開始まであと17分。各機10分以内に所定の位置につけ。以上だ。
It's finally time. There's no way of knowing what might happen from here on out. But I'm gonna make it through this. If I can't overcome a tiny hurdle like this, there's no way I could ever save humanity. I know you'll be able to talk them down.
無論だ。
サギリ大尉に次ぐ。私は帝国近衛軍第19独立警備小隊のつくよみ中尉である。
She's talking to the rebel leader. Here we go.
応答せよ。私は帝国近衛軍第19独立警備小隊のつくよみ中尉である。
私は帝国本土防衛軍、帝都守備連隊サギリ大尉である。
He responded.
機関らの熟慮の結果、聞かせていただこ
う。この通信は機関の要求に対する回答をするためではない。
では何のための通信か。
殿下が直々に機関と会って話されることを望まれている。
それは事実か。
それは機関が決めればよい。殿下のご要望、疑うも信ずるも機関次第であろ
う。了解した。謁見の手はずを聞こ
う。殿下がお召しの国連軍機に現部隊にある全近衛軍4機が随伴する。
Huh? Why are you adding more escorts? This wasn't part of the plan.
国連軍機には殿下の他に兵士が登場していることを念のために断っておく。
落ち合う場所は天城高原インターチェンジ跡から直線にして約400メートルほど北西、伊豆スカイライン跡が河川及び道路跡と交差する地点としたい。いかがか。
場所は確認した。そちらの手はずに従おう。だが接触後、殿下にはこちらで用意する機体にお召し替えいただく。それが条件だ。期間はさておいても、国連軍及びアメリカ軍の介入は明らかに主権侵害である。殿下のお言葉であれば、どのようなものでも賜る覚悟が我々にはある。だが、その場に国連軍及びアメリカ軍が立ち会う道理はない。
Damn it, Tsukuyomi-san. What do we do now? I'm guessing you requested additional escorts so you could retract them during the bargaining phase, but all you've done is made him paranoid. At this rate, negotiations are gonna fail before they even get off the ground.
機関の主張は理解した。だが、その条件は受け入れられない。その条件は当初の引き渡し要求を受諾するに等しい。そのような状況を殿下がお望みではないがゆえに、こたび謁見の運びとなったと知るがよい。
何故我々は殿下のご尊頼を仰げないというのだ。それは殿下のご意志ではなく、機関らの目論見ではないのか。
先ほども申したであろう。それを決めるのは機関だと。殿下はこれ以上の争いを望んでおられない。混乱を鎮めるために介入した国連軍とアメリカ軍に対し、理解と感謝の念を示されている。それは同族相はむ無用な戦いを良しとされず、それに巻き込まれ苦しむ国民をおもんばかられた殿下のご診療に他ならない。殿下のご心痛、機関であれば手に取るようにわかるはず。今ここで殿下のご意志を軽んじ、無益な戦いをこれ以上長引かせることが機関らの言う断りにかなうものかどうか再考されよ。
Nicely done, Tsukuyomi-san. Her ability to relate to the captain's feelings really helped corner him. Now he's got no choice but to go along with it.
先の条件は撤回する。国連英使の随伴も認めよう。
了解。ではこちらも直縁を私のみとさせていただく。
殿下の直縁が一機だと。機関はそれでもこの絵の将校か。
Oh, I get it now. So this is why she said there'd be more escorts before. The captain took it as a given that any Imperial officer would send as many Royal Guard escorts as they possibly could. And Tsukuyomi-san understood how sincere the captain was about this, so she knew he'd grow suspicious if she didn't request a sizable escort.
これもまた殿下のおぼし飯である。そもそも殿下は機関らの謁見に警護は無用とまで仰せになっていたのだ。
なんと。
されどまず機関の志の真偽を見定め、その上でせめて一機はお供させていただくよう私が検索差し上げたまでのこと。
殿下。
機関を背踏みしたことは詫びる。されど直縁が一機というよしは機関を信ずる殿下の御心の証であると知るがよい。
恐れ多いことだ。
ここは殿下のご厚情を賜るがよいであろう。
Man, it must have been tough for her to lie to the captain like that, even if it was for Her Highness's sake.
一切了解した。では、これより謁見の場に向かう。
その場には先んじて殿下をお連れする。機関は私の連絡を待て。
待て。それでは礼に失する。私が先立ち、殿下をお迎えするべきだ。
機関の上位は理解している。されどここは殿下の保安を預かる私の差配に従っていただく。
なるほど、了解した。機関が務めを果たすことに依存はない。
What the hell, man? From the way this conversation's going, you think he's the one... You'd think he's the one that's been surrounded. He keeps giving in without an argument every time we mention the Shogun. Wouldn't your average rebel leader suspect some sort of trap? Considering how hard he's been fighting against the UN and US forces, the guy seems way too trusting, naive even.
こちらは2機で出向く。では、機関からの通信を待つ。以上だ。
Like Ayamine said, he's a principled man. Way too naive. I guess it just goes to show how fiercely loyal Captain Sagiri is to the Shogun. But then, why didn't he obey her order to stop the fighting in the capital? The fact that he's giving Tsukuyomi-san the benefit of the doubt here makes me think he really might just be looking for an honorable death. Maybe he sees this as one final chance to speak with Her Highness in person.
タケル。
I know, it's finally time.
1901より2076。サギリ大域と随伴機の接近を確認。丸6正面20メートルにて停止。サギリ大尉が機外に出て殿下をお迎えする。
20706, copy that. It seems Captain Sagiri has arrived, Your Highness. Please prepare yourself to speak with him.
聞こえていた。イヤホンの感度は良いようだ。
His TSF's external mic should pick up your voice just as well, so you shouldn't need to talk too loudly.
わかった。
I can almost feel how anxious she is right now. I can't even imagine what she must be going through. Because of the noble blood running through her veins, she's always had a lot of responsibility on her shoulders. But I bet it's never felt quite this heavy. Must be pretty tough on Maya to be called Her Highness when she's just a body double, even if it's just part of the mission. Tougher than I could ever imagine, probably. But hopefully she'll manage, cause we definitely can't let Captain Sagiri get suspicious. Holy shit, that was a direct landing from a boost jump with only 21 centimeters of error. No wonder they're called the elites of the Capital Guard. Their piloting skills are insane. Wait, so if a fight does break out, what then? Sure, the new OS makes piloting my Fubuki a total cinch, but would we even stand a chance against these guys at our skill level?
1901より207006隊員の準備が完了した。謁見を開始する。
20706, copy that. Here we go, Maya. Okay, Your Highness. Let's move out. So that's Captain Sagiri, huh?
そなたがサギリか。
はっ。拝謁の栄誉を賜り、誠に恐悦至極にございます。私は帝国本土防衛軍帝都防衛第一師団第一戦術機構連隊所属相宜直也大尉であります。
表を上げるがよい。
はっ。
こたびこのような形でそなたと顔を合わせねばならぬこと、誠に遺憾です。
That's great, Maya. You look as dignified as the Shogun herself. I can't see even a trace of that anxiety from before. Your gestures and body language seem perfectly natural, too.
殿下に多大なるご心労をおかけいたしましたこと、途端の苦しみでございます。されど、帝国に救った逆賊どもを討ち、すべての膿を出し切るまで、今しばらくの間、ご容赦を賜りたく存じます。
私はそなたたちをかような立場に追い込んでしまった自らの不甲斐なさが口惜しいのです。
殿下、
そなたの声明にあったように、帝国議会や軍の在り方と私の意志との間に浅くない溝ができてしまっていたことは事実です。されどかの者はかの者なりに国と民とそして世界を思い、それを救うために力を尽くしてきたに違いありません。その思いが純粋であるがゆえに、齟齬や対立が生まれるのは往々にして起こりうること。そしてそれを御しきれぬ我が不徳こそが責められるべきなのです。
恐れながら殿下、将軍のご尊命において行われるべき政が殿下のご意志と違えているという現状こそが許されざることなのです。無論人のなすことに絶対はございません。ですが、それを正そうとする心を持たぬ輩は、殿下のそのようなお言葉ですら都合の良い隠れ蓑に利用しているのです。齟齬が生じたならば、それを正すのは殿下ではなく政府や軍でありましょう。しかし残念ながら今の彼らにそのような自浄作用はもはや望むべくもありません。先の帝都での戦闘の際、仙台臨時政府から伝えられた殿下のお言葉は即時無条件武装解除でした。しかもその命を伝えられたのは顧みるにすでに殿下が帝都城におられないはずの時刻。大方かの者たちが握りつぶそうとしていた折、殿下のご不在を知り、急遽偽名を発したのでございましょう。
I see.
なぜ殿下は全軍に戦闘をやめるように命令しなかったんですか？
もちろんしたとも。
だったらなぜ？
Aren't they all fully devoted to her?
悪い癖が治っていないな、白金だけ。そういう現状を嘆いた連中が決起したんじゃないのかね。
The surrender and retreat order came from the provisional government. So even though they claimed it was a decree from the shogun herself, he didn't believe it. And yet, when he spoke with Tsukuyomi-san earlier, he was convinced she really did speak on behalf of Her Highness. So he complied without question. That makes sense. But of course, we're just as guilty of deception. The only reason it worked out for us is because Tsukuyomi-san understands the rebel mindset. She knew how to word it in a way they'd find believable.
幸い私どもは誠のご加盟の内容を去る信頼できる筋の者から聞き及んでいましたので、かの者の関係に陥ることはございませんでした。
A trustworthy source. He's not talking about Chief Yoroi, is he?
私が決起せし同志たちに戦闘停止を命じたのはかの者たちが用意した偽名の遥か以前にございます。されど何故かの者たちは殿下の命を私どもに伝えなかったのか。恐れながらかの者たちこそが逆賊。殿下がお心を痛める由はみじんもございません。
先ほど帝都で戦闘が始まった。
Huh? Those stupid thugs, they actually went and did it.
未確認ではあるが、帝都城を包囲していた歩兵部隊の一部が近衛軍部隊に向け発砲したことが発端らしい。
Infantry soldiers. Then they were using small arms.
それに対し、近衛軍第2連隊が全力で応戦。サギリ大尉の戦闘停止声明も発表されたが、混乱は収拾できていない。
Those dumbasses, this is insane. What the hell is this Sagiri guy even doing? Can he not even control his own troops? At the time, I just chalked it up to Sagiri's lack of leadership skills. But maybe the powers that be actually wanted fighting to break out in the capital. Or was it the provisional government in Sendai? Were they trying to make this happen? Huh? What's going on, Maya? Why aren't you saying anything? Come on, Maya. He's gonna start getting suspicious. Hurry up and say some.
大尉、そなたの申すことはわかります。されど、今の帝国のありさま、これが将軍である私の責任である由は何ら変わるところではない。
Phew! Don't scare me like that.
アメリカ軍や国連軍の介入を許してしまっているのもまたしかり。故に、そなたたちが私のために血を流す必要はないのです。
殿下。
That's the way. At this rate, we're finally going to put an end to all this infighting. I don't think Captain Sagiri can argue with the shogun to her face. We've just gotta lay on the heat.
それながら殿下の潔く崇高な御心に触れ、万感こもごも至り、心洗われる思いにございます。しかしながらアメリカ軍および国連軍の介入は重大な内政干渉であり、国家主権を脅かす蛮行である事実は決して変わることではありません。ことここに至り、ようやく賜りました機会、かかる事態を招いた不面目を棚に上げてでも殿下にお伝えせねばならないことがございます。
申すがよい。
こたびの件はアメリカの思惑を成就せんがための計りごとにございます。
Hang on, where's he going with this?
帝都での戦闘は帝都城警備の近衛部隊に対して我が同志部隊が先制攻撃を仕掛けたことが発端となったとされています。結果的にそれは事実であります。されど部隊指揮官は発砲を命じておらず、一兵士が暴走し上官に射殺されるまで発砲を続け、反撃に出た近衛部隊に対し撤退しながら応戦したというのが事の顛末です。そして不思議なことに同じ時刻に同様のことが帝都城の周囲数カ所で発生いたしておりました。その中のとある部隊の将校が命令を無視して発砲した兵士を射殺せずに逮捕し連行してきたのです。精査の結果、その兵士はアメリカ諜報機関の工作員であることが判明いたしました。
Oh crap, this is bad. Maya doesn't know anything about this. I mean, she may have had her suspicions, but having Captain Sagiri spell it out here and hear it now could really throw a wrench in things.
極東での復権を望むアメリカ政府はアメリカ軍派遣の口実を作るため帝都での騒乱を望んだのです。帝都の戦闘からアメリカ軍が殿下を救出し保護し、日本の騒乱を平定する。これがアメリカの当初を描いた筋書きです。そしてまた アメリカ軍をたやすく率いれ、殿下の戦闘停止命令を握りつぶした仙台臨時政府の者たちこそが帝都を戦火にさらした張本人なのです。さりとてそれを許した私の罪、拭えるものではないことは重々承知しております。
Her Highness already knew most of this, which is why she was planning to grant the captain and his men an honorable death. But when Maya volunteered to take her place, she did it purely based on the information available to her. She just wanted to respect Her Highness's decision. She never knew her underlying motives. And whether he's telling the truth or not, this new information's only gonna make her feel more sympathetic to the rebel cause. Hell, it even made me feel pretty conflicted when I heard about it, and I used to think this rebellion was totally inexcusable.
殿下。
Wait, you're not crying, are you?